Hey guys, welcome back. So every great business starts with an idea, right? But ideas, well, they don't exactly pay the bills. The first real hurdle for any founder is getting that initial cash. Today, we're going to climb the first few rungs of that funding ladder, starting with the people you know best and moving up to the first professional investors you'll likely ever meet. Let's jump in.
So you've got it, that big, game-changing idea, but it's just an idea until it has fuel, and that fuel is capital. This is the question every single entrepreneur runs into right at the start. You've probably burned through your personal savings, so what's the next move?
Well, the funding journey is usually a pretty predictable path. It almost always starts with your own money. That's called bootstrapping, where you're just stretching every single dollar you have. But once that runs out, you've got to start climbing. And today, we're going to focus on those first two crucial steps up: the wild world of friends, family, and fools, and then that pivotal leap to angel investors.
Okay, so the first stop for cash from the outside world, it's usually the one closest to home. We call this the triple F round. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. This is where the vast majority of companies get their first real shot.
Now, the name itself tells you a lot. Friends and family? That's pretty obvious. But why fools? Honestly, it's a bit of an inside joke in the venture capital world. The joke is that at this super early stage, when you don't really have a proven business, the only people who would invest are your friends, your family, and, well, maybe a few fools who are betting purely on their belief in you, not your business plan.
But listen, this money comes with a serious trade-off. On the one hand, it's often the fastest and easiest cash you'll ever raise. These people trust you. But on the other hand, the personal stakes are just sky high. If the business goes under, you haven't just lost an investor's money, you could seriously damage a relationship you care about, maybe for life.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. A big investment fund, they expect some of their investments to fail. It's baked into their model. Your family and friends, they don't. And the emotional weight of that is something you really have to think about.
So, let's say you've done it. You raised a small round from your network, you've built something, you've got a little bit of traction. But now you need more cash than your aunt or your best friend can give you. It is time to climb to the next rung on the ladder and find yourself an angel.
An angel investor is basically a wealthy person who invests their own money into startups. And they're called angels for a reason. They often swoop in at the super critical stage, when you're too big for friends and family, but you're still way too small or unproven for a bank loan or a massive venture capital firm. They fill this incredibly important gap.
Just to put this all into perspective, a typical friends and family round might get you, say, $10,000. Now that's enough to get a prototype built, maybe a first version of your app, but it's not going to take you much further than that. Now watch what happens when you climb up to that next rung.
And boom, this is the next level. An angel investment is a serious step up. We're talking tens, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is the kind of money that doesn't just keep the lights on. This is fuel for real growth.
Okay, so we know what they are, we know how much they invest, but if you're going to find one, you have to understand why they do it. What makes a wealthy person risk their own cash on a brand new, high-risk startup? It's not always about what you think.
Their reasons are actually pretty diverse, and believe it or not, it's rarely just about the money. Of course, they want a financial return, that's a given, but sometimes they invest for synergy. Like, if your startup helps another company they own, it's a double win for them. For others, it's about the excitement. It's just way more interesting than buying stocks. And for a lot of them, it's about this one powerful motivator: prestige.
Prestige is a huge deal. Angels love being able to say, I was an early investor in, and they wear it like a badge of honor. Chris Sacca is the perfect example. He made these legendary early bets on companies like Twitter and Uber, and that prestige became a massive part of his personal brand.
All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get to the how. And trust me, this isn't about luck. It's about having a smart, targeted strategy. Let's walk through the actual steps you can take to find and connect with these investors.
So your hunt should start in your own backyard, your industry. Find the successful people there, because angels love to invest in what they already know. Get on LinkedIn and search for your industry plus the keyword investor. Build out a profile on platforms like AngelList, where angels are literally scrolling looking for deals. And finally, look up angel groups. These are like organized clubs of investors who check out deals together.
Now, this right here is a crucial psychological shift. If you walk in with your hand out asking for money, defenses immediately go up. But if you lead by asking for their advice, you start a relationship, you build trust, and then an investment can become the natural next step, not the first demand.
And finally, let's talk about momentum. Because finding that first angel investor is by far the hardest part of this whole thing. But once you get that first one, something really powerful starts to happen. You could call it the snowball effect.
This quote says it all, really. The fundraising process is a total grind. You might spend months and months just trying to get that first yes. But here's the magic. Angels know other angels. As soon as that first investor is in, they provide what's called social proof. It's validation that you're a good bet. They'll make introductions, and all of a sudden that incredibly slow process can accelerate like crazy. From a small loan from your family to a whole network of investors, climbing that funding ladder is all about building trust and momentum. That first step is always the toughest. So the final question is pretty simple. Are you ready to get that snowball rolling?